Did you have mercy?
Well, honestly, he couldn't have mercy because the guy that was supposed to stop the fight never did it. So
Right.
if one needs to die, it's not gonna be my guy.
Oh my gosh. I like this. This is a little trash talking here. This is nice.
Ilia Topuria is in the middle of the biggest fight of his life, and it's not happening inside the octagon. New court filings in Spain reveal that the undefeated Georgian star is being dragged into a messy, high-stakes divorce battle that could cost him nearly half his entire net worth. His wife, Georgina Bedell, is reportedly seeking 50% of Topuria's estimated $10 to $15 million, money built from UFC paydays, endorsements, sponsorships, and the surge of fame that came with becoming world champion. And it gets even messier. Spanish media claim she's using Ilia's alleged private messages with other women as evidence in a custody battle over their 2 children. This is the last thing Ilia needed during his title reign. He publicly announced he's stepping away from competition to focus on his kids. And that one decision froze the entire lightweight division. The UFC suddenly had no champion available, no timeline, and no direction.
Can anybody get under your skin? Does anybody get under your skin? Somebody that knows to say something that triggers. I see your face is saying something though.
I think the only person is my wife. She's the only person.
What should have been Ilia defending the belt in early 2026 turned into a giant question mark and opened the door for chaos. Meanwhile, as Ilia tries to sort out his personal life, Jon Jones is out here entertaining the world in the most Jon Jones way possible. After Daniel Cormier commented about Jon being alone during Thanksgiving, Jones fired back by literally singing a song mocking DC, bragging about living rent-free in his head. Jon then hopped on Twitter and dropped a brutal line. Imagine a man getting his ass kicked. And years later, he's still thinking about how I spend my holidays. Classic Jon. And at this point, it's almost predictable. DC will probably be on camera tomorrow apologizing and saying he shouldn't have said anything. These two could start beef over which fork to use at dinner, and it would go viral every time. But right when everyone thought the night couldn't get any crazier, Alex Pereira entered the chat. Poitin posted a photo holding his 2 UFC belts with the caption, 2 + 1 = 3.
Why does Alex Pierre want to fight Jon Jones? Don't tell me money. Pierre is rich. There's no title. It largely is what is so admirable about Pierre's call-out. It's not about the money. It's not about the title. He's got a title. Jon does not have a title. A legit competitor.
The entire internet exploded. Fans immediately assumed he's teasing a move to heavyweight to chase a third world title, something no UFC fighter has ever done. But there's a twist. Jon Jones has been calling him out for the White House fight, and the heavyweight title is tangled up between Aspinall and Gane. Still, Pereira becoming a 3-division champion? That's historic. And if anyone can pull off something that insane, it's Alex Pereira. Before we continue, make sure you smash that subscribe button so you never miss the biggest MMA stories the second they break. Now let's get right back into it, because next, the UFC is getting blasted for one of the most controversial title bookings of the year. Dana White announced that Alexander Volkanovski will be rematching Diego Lopez for the featherweight belt. And the MMA community is furious. Volk already beat Lopez convincingly earlier this year. Since then, Diego has only one win. Over. Someone ranked around 11.
100K. Woo! 100K. I feel amazing. I'm so happy. I train a lot for this fight. I told you guys, I'm sure it is game heavy level. I definitely the high level. I'm sure you now I'm enjoying.
Meanwhile, Movsar Evloev and Lerone Murphy are undefeated on streaks and begging for a shot. Both deserved, both fresh. Instead, the UFC said, run it back. Fans called it fraudulent, lazy matchmaking. The worst title shot in UFC history. Even Volkanovski admitted Murphy and Movsar deserved it more, but the UFC insisted on Lopez. Fans think the UFC is trying to build Lopez into a champion no matter what, giving him multiple attempts until one sticks. But the hardcore fans? They're furious. And they're not wrong. But lightweight is on another planet right now. The moment Ilia stepped away, you'd think the UFC would simply reward the next man in line. Arman Tsarukyan wasn't just the #1 contender. He dominated at UFC Qatar. He did everything right. He played the game. He took the fights. He won the fights. He beat the guys the UFC told him to beat.
Thank Dan because of him I fought this year. Just only guy who wanted to fight me. Everybody is run out, especially Ilia. If you're here, come on. We got a face on. There is just one contender, #1. It's Arman Tsarukyan.
And when the champion stepped aside, every logical sign pointed straight at him. Instead, the UFC took the entire rulebook, lit it on fire, and said, Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett, interim title. The MMA world didn't just react, it rioted. Fans were calling it a clown matchup, a slap in the face to contenders. The worst rankings abused since BMF belts. The UFC choosing TikTok over hard work. And the timing made it even worse. Arman had just flown home from Qatar, bruised, sore, happy, ranked #1. And the UFC said, yeah, we're going with Paddy instead. Ariel Helwani absolutely cooked the decision on his show. He said the interim belt means nothing if you crush the rankings and ignore the actual contender.
You gotta delete him from the rankings even. He's not even deserved to be in top 10. He beat last 3 guys. Chandler, he had 3 losses. It was Bobby Green, he had 3-4 losses. It was Tony Ferguson, he had 8 losses.
He called it a manufactured championship, a prop for marketing, and said Gaethje versus Paddy is basically the BMF belt in disguise. But then Paddy added fire. He posted a hype video celebrating the news, and right in the middle, a picture of Arman crying, an actual crying photo. Then he jumped on X and tweeted, "You like apples?" It was absolute disrespect. And to make it even wilder, Conor McGregor jumped in cheering for Paddy like they're teammates now. Meanwhile, Arman, who trained, earned, and fought his way to #1, stood there with one sentence: make it make sense. But nothing about this division makes sense. Not when the UFC is building the next star instead of rewarding the top contender. Not when the division may stay frozen until late 2026. Not when Arman's path to the belt depends on politics, not performance. This entire division is being booked like a reality show, and fans know it. But thankfully, the bantamweight division is doing this the right way, like an actual sport. Because Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davison Figueiredo is now official, and this is a real #1 contender fight. This isn't star power matchmaking or drama booking, this is elite versus elite. Umar is undefeated, technical, sharp, and one of the most avoided fighters at 135. Figgy is a former champion with knockout power, elite grappling, and championship-level composure. And hovering over both of them is Merab Dvalishvili, the machine himself, talking trash every chance he gets. Merab said Umar is fake, claimed Umar doesn't tweet for himself, and insisted he doesn't respect him as a real champion. This is personal. And if Umar wins, he gets the rematch, and this time with the belt on the line. This is the kind of matchup fans dream about. High IQ, high stakes, and guaranteed violence. And speaking of killers, another future star is returning, and fans better start learning his name. Aiva Gautier, the middleweight wrecking ball who has never gone to a decision, is officially fighting Andre Pulv at UFC 324. Gautier is the kind of fighter hardcore fans love. 4-0 in the UFC, all finishes, 0 fear, 0 hesitation, 0 wasted motion. His last win was a violent first-round TKO over Traydon Vines, the kind of performance that instantly puts a target on your back. Pulv isn't a walkover either, 2-1 in the UFC with vicious body kicks, unpredictable movement, and nothing to lose. This fight is either the launch of Gautier as a ranked contender, or the moment Pulv lets the division know he's a problem. Either way, someone's getting folded. And finally, a massive shift every fan needs to adjust to, because your UFC Saturdays are about to start earlier, a lot earlier. Starting in 2026, all UFC pay-per-views begin 1 hour earlier. Main card, 9 p.m., Eastern prelims, 7 p.m., early prelims, 5 p.m. This isn't random. This is the Paramount deal flexing its power. They want big numbers from New York, Miami, Boston, Philly, the entire East Coast audience who go to sleep earlier. And for the UFC, that means more viewership, more engagement, and more money. West Coast fans are going to hate it. Sports bars are complaining. Casuals will miss more prelims. But business-wise, this is massive. The UFC is now syncing itself with primetime television in America's biggest markets. The numbers will be huge. The sport is evolving in real time, champions stepping away, contenders getting snubbed, stars rising from nowhere, icons teasing historic moves, divisions being reshaped by matchmaking, and broadcast partners rewriting the rules. And as always, Fight Grid will keep you ahead of every twist, every controversy, every announcement, and every dagger dropped on social media. If you enjoyed the video, hit subscribe, drop a like, and tell us in the comments which UFC decision this week blew your mind the most, because this was one of the wildest weeks we've ever seen.